I'm very pleased to be joined by Mr. Joe, current world champion Hachem. Joe, thanks for sparing some of your time. I know you're currently breaking up the 50-100 game inside, and up 70 grand off Mattisau already.
Yeah, it was a bit of an exciting 10 minutes. Two pots.
What happened?
The first one, he straddled for 200. Someone else re-straddled for 400. I pick up a pair of 10s first to act or second to act and make it 1400. He calls from the straddle and the other guy folds and the flop comes 10 high. He leads 2000. I make it 10 and he moves all in for 25. I have to call, obviously. And when he sees my hand, he just says, I'm drawing dead. It was a nice feeling, when someone says to you they're drawing dead for a $50,000 pot.
Yeah.
And a few hands later, he actually got unlucky, but I think he misplayed the hand. Guy straddled, I raised, he called. Board comes, I had queens. Board comes 8-4-4 with 2 clubs. I lead for 3,000. He calls. Turn card comes a deuce, and I decide to bet 10. I'm not quite sure what he has at the moment. After thinking and thinking, I finally say to him, give it up. And as soon as I say that, he calls. Now I know that I'm dead. He's got kings, aces, probably aces, or he's got a set of 8s. And the queen comes on the river, And now I check to him because I know he's going to fire. He bets 10 and I push it all in. He calls and he flopped top set with a full house, 8s full of 4s. So I got lucky, but he played it badly. He probably would have got all my money on the flop if he had played it correctly. And then I would have outdrawn him and he would have looked like a genius. But I don't think he played it well. But
would you call yourself a tournament player or a cash player?
I've always been a cash player.
Yeah.
I started playing tournaments because of the prize pools, and fortunate enough it worked out for me.
Yeah. Talking about tournaments, you if you don't mind me saying, a virtual unknown. You were pretty much known in and around your hometown as a bit of a player.
Correct.
But and the site that we won't mention, you played on a lot. People recognise you from. You were a known player in the cash and the tournament arena. You come along to the World Series. You buy in for the main event, and you win $7.5 million as world champion. How did it feel waking up the next day? Did it actually sink in? Did it actually you start to figure out what had happened?
The next day when I woke up, I actually went to the bathroom and just cried. The emotions came through. But it didn't really... I didn't become comfortable in my own skin with what I'd accomplished for 6 months. It took 6 months to... Now I'm comfortable with it. But it took 6 months, yeah. It's a big thing to understand, to comprehend. You don't realise what comes with it. Because you're just so worried about winning the bloody thing and being the world champion, but you don't realise everything else that comes with it.
$7.5 million in the bank. You had any percentages with anybody?
Yeah, I swapped 5% with one mate and 10% with another mate.
Okay.
Before we started the event, and so they made a nice little earn out of me. So
good. Okay, so you're sitting there with a little over $6.5 million in the bank. It must have changed your life enormously.
It didn't.
Really?
No. The only thing that changed financially was that I now became debt free, and I knew that I had secured my kids' future. Whereas before, that was still the plan in progress. I hadn't accomplished it yet. I've lived a good life from the time of adulthood. I always worked, always made money, and then when I started playing poker, I made more money, and so we lived well. It wasn't like I was struggling and this is a saviour, but it's always great when you're debt free, you own your own home, and your kids are going to be looked after.
New house?
Not yet. And the only reason that we're going to move is because it's not safe for me to be there, because too many people know where I live. Because our house was magnificent. We had a beautiful home. Or we have a beautiful home. And we don't even want to sell it, but it's too nice to rent out to somebody. So when we go back after the World Series, we have to look for somewhere, different to live.
What's the most extravagant purchase you've made since winning the money?
I bought a diamond ring for my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, a very nice diamond ring for my wife.
What about for yourself?
No, I bought myself a watch, a Breitling watch, which wasn't really expensive. It was nothing. But here's some news for you folks out there. When I get back home, as long as I know that I'm going to be home long enough, I'm going to buy myself a Bentley, the GT.
What, the
coupe.
Ah, good shout.
I'm like 90% certain that's what I'm going to do. That was the other thing. I just bought a Lexus 3 months before I came out here last year. What am I going to do just because I can? I'm going to go and change my car, you know. So, but yeah, that's going to be my little earn. Yeah.
We asked Negreanu the same question. He goes, when you won some money and this and that. He goes, oh, I bought some CDs, a few DVDs. So, you know, obviously it's you know, you're not a materialistic kind of guy.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I love the fine things in life, but they're secondary to living well and having a good family life.
Something impressed me a lot, you know, we're fortunate enough to have you down at Gut Shot, and, you know, you seemed very comfortable, surrounded by other poker players, beer in your hand, a cigar, chilling out, you know. You know, you're very comfortable in those surroundings, and, you know, yes, I know you're Australian, but you come across a very natural, nice guy, and, you know, this must have, you know, not only added, but also given you so many more avenues to explore.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because for whatever reason, and I don't really know why, is that I've taken to it like I was born into it. You know, the cameras, the autographs, you know, it doesn't faze me at all. And maybe because I'm comfortable in myself as to who I am, and I was comfortable before I won. You know, I didn't have to reinvent myself as the champion. Mm-hmm. I know who I am, and I've stuck to that. And you know, when you stick by, you know, be honest to yourself and be true to yourself, it's easy to be comfortable in any circumstance.
I bet it was a really nice feeling the other day. We spoke about this briefly yesterday when we were chatting, but you said that making a second, even though, you know, yes, winning the bracelet would have been nice in a six-handed event, and you know, Dutch boy's a very good player and you know, a fine combatant, but you know, you kind of proven that you're not some flash in the pan Mickey Mouse champion. You're here, you are a poker player, and you know, Joe Hachem's not going anywhere.
It certainly helped cement it, for sure. Yeah, I've been doing that all throughout the year, but this, you know, so early into the World Series, it was great. And you know, look, I'm still crying that I didn't win, because, look, well, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. You know, just the win was just, he could have taken the money. I just wanted the bracelet. It was, you know, and you understand, being a poker player yourself, how important that is. Well,
I'm sure Dutch would have said the same, because he, you know, he's not got a bracelet, and I'm sure you'd both given the money away for the bracelet.
Absolutely.
And I suppose that's what makes the World Series so special. You know, a lot of the players out here don't really care about the money, you know, and the bracelet is everything, because, you know, when you're long gone, the bracelet will carry on.
And especially to a world champion who has the main bracelet, adding to that, you know, a few of the other bracelets, certainly, you know, it's great. It's great.
Okay, final question. The man behind the poker player. What do you do for fun? You know, what do you get up to when you've got some time off?
Generally, my life is full between my poker life and my family life. If I'm going to unwind, I'm going to have a cigar in my backyard with some friends, or go to a bar, have a drink and a cigar. I play the odd round of golf, but I'm terrible. I used to be good, but I'm terrible these days. And you know, it's because life is so hectic. It's whenever I get downtime, I have downtime. Mm-hmm. You know. And then when I get a chance, I play poker online if I'm, you know, bored sitting at home. But I'm very rarely at home sitting, you know, bored. So.
Indeed. Is it difficult? Sorry, I know I said last question, but something occurred to me. You know, you live in Australia, in Melbourne, isn't it? You live. So it must be difficult, considering most of it takes place in Europe and America, that you're, you know, so far away. It must be very difficult for your family.
Oh, mate, I have, you know, of the last 10 months, 11 months, I've spent 2 months in Melbourne. And the only thing that saved me was that I took my wife and children with me for 5 of those months. And the rest of the time I came and went. But yeah, I'm planning to have 2 months off at the end of this, and then plan my schedule for the next year, which hopefully won't be as hectic as this year.
Well, unless you win it again.
Then it's going to be crazy. Yeah. Well, we know that's highly unlikely, but I'm going to certainly try.
Well, yeah, but you've got the game for it, which is nice. You know what it takes.
I know I can do it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Hachem, thank you very much for your time, and good luck over the next 5 weeks to go, man. That's a long time. Good luck, Joe. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you guys at the Gut Shot Club next year.
Sounds good.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, fella.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.